she say she want hood nigga. I keep the perk by the pound. The trunk stay bumped and y'all know we run the town. Hood nigga. And I keep a bad bitch around. Thick bitch, long hair, yellow, white, red, brown. Hood nigga. And my Chevy sitting on 24s. Flats look like flapjack. Pancake, you ain't no hood nigga. I'ma play the game how it go. They can take me out the hood, but I'ma keep it hood, folks. I'm on that good and alcohol. I got some down bitches I can't call. What's that? I don't know what I would do without y'all. I'ma fall till the day I fall. Yeah, as long as my bitches love me. Country shit, country shit. Let me tell you about this country shit. Country shit. Let me tell you about this country shit. Country shit. Let me tell you about this country shit. Country shit. Country shit. Let me tell you about this super fly, dirt coast muddy water. Shorty, pop that pussy if you wanna. Let me tell you about this old school pouring lean candy yams and collard greens. Pocket full of stones, riding clean.
Well, I'm just one parlay away from a new house, new car. I'm just one parlay away. Trust I'ma take us far. I'm just one parlay away, one parlay away, one parlay away. Oh, I took the Chiefs on over, took my homes on yards. Everything is going good so far. Lakers beating the Knicks, spread is only 6. 2 minutes left in the game, baby. I'm about to hit. Ow!
I need out, yeah, I need out. Blood pressure higher than a body count. Tomorrow she has to go. She's a mama. I think I married a hoe. Married a hoe. I said, mama, I think I married a hoe. I made a mistake, mama. No, oh no. I want you. A man can't do nothing for you. All these hoes ain't loyal. All these hoes ain't loyal. These hoes ain't loyal. These hoes ain't loyal. 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 These hoes ain't loyal. When a rich brother wants you and
welcome back, y'all, to another one, man. We back up in here again, man. I hope y'all doing all right tonight, man. On your way in, as usual, man, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, share, turn notifications on, all that in the bag of chips, because we trying to grow around here. We can only do that with y'all help. But hold up, where my music at, man? I ain't even got my music going, man. What we doing tonight, man? We gonna actually do some. We gotta do some dark shit, man. Where that dark shit I got? Sinister? Nah. Sinister, like we gonna roll up on somebody. Where that moist? Yeah, we do moist. We do moist, y'all. We do. I don't know why that shit's called moist, y'all. Don't blame me for it. But nah, let me see what we got right here. We got Hurricane up in the building. Salute, Hurricane. You already know what to do. He says salute and peace to the chat. And make sure y'all hit that like button on the way in. Make sure y'all definitely do that shit. Yeah, tonight, man. Look, man. I don't be keeping up with everything, y'all, but I try my best to keep up with what I can. And the other day, the UN held a vote, y'all. They held a vote on a declaration, bro. Y'all want to know what the declaration was? They were declaring that the trafficking of enslaved Africans and racialized chattel enslavement was the greatest evil done against humanity. And you would think, like, normal, common sense thing, and people's like, yeah, enslaving people and treating them like animals and shit. Yeah, that probably is. Because there's a lot of things that went inside of that shit. But you had people out here that was bitching and complaining and shit, talking about there are other greater evils and shit. And y'all gonna hear from the countries, the heads of the countries, or at least the spokespersons for a lot of these countries on why they didn't agree with it. But the measure passed, y'all. Just so y'all know, the UN passed the measure. Now, it ain't like the UN can enforce nothing because, the UN ain't got no army. Ask Black Bush. He tell the UN to sanction me. Oh, sanction me with your army? You ain't got no army. You need to shut the fuck up type shit. But they voted on it. It passed. But the interesting part was the countries that actually voted against it. And also, I'm going to bring out a point. I'll pretty much tell y'all right now. All them countries that abstained from it, you also voted against it too. I'm just let them know. All these countries that y'all going to see on this list, they not off the hook. They abstained from voting on this. Yeah, you're a part of the problem. But yeah, I'm going to actually throw it over to DW News, y'all. We're gonna go to DW News because they were the ones who I'm actually gonna cover their shit on. Hopefully they don't try to copyright this shit because they are a news network. But yeah, they did a breakdown. They actually talked to a few people, got a couple clips or whatever the hell. But I'm gonna let y'all get a good rundown in it. I'm gonna let them do it. But as usual, before we get started, man, get your cigarettes, get your weed, or whatever you need. We're gonna jump into it, man. Let's go ahead and see what we got right here. DW News, baby.
Vote at the United Nations on slavery.
Therefore, draft.
Now, y'all look at it. Y'all look at this right here. Y'all see all the ones that are in yellow abstain from the vote. Y'all, as y'all can see at the bottom, the ones in red are the people that voted against it, and the ones in green are the ones who were in favor of it. Okay. Now, I'll bring up the actual full image later so y'all can actually see it a little bit better. But that's pretty much what you got right here. So, the ones in red, it's only 3 of them, so we can say it real quick. Obviously, United States of America, they ain't for that shit. We ain't gonna never admit no wrong about slavery. You had Israel. That's just America 2.0 right there. And then Argentina voted against it. And now y'all can see all the yellows, and y'all will notice a little bit later on, most of the yellows are just pretty much Europe. Other Western countries, other white people. But either way, though, let's go ahead and let them talk it out.
Resolution A/80/L48 is adopted.
The UN General Assemblies declared that slavery is the gravest crime against humanity, specifically the enslavement of some 12 million Africans and their descendants through the transatlantic slave trade. The resolution put forward by Ghana was harshly criticized by the United States, where tens of millions of descendants of enslaved Africans live today. We'll be talking about that later on. First, I want to hear the reaction from Ghana. DW correspondent Isaac Kaleji is in the Ghanaian capital, Accra.
You tell him, Isaac. You better tell him. And y'all, when he talked to Isaac, he gonna let you know what they are really trying to get out of this. At least things to work towards. And I want y'all, when you get to that point, I want y'all to tell me if y'all think these things are outrageous, okay?
Isaac, good to see you.
Thank you, David.
So before we talk more about this historic vote at the UN, let's just look at what the resolution says. The resolution calls the transatlantic slave trade the gravest crime against humanity. It calls for UN member states to engage in dialogue on a full and formal apology and for reparations as a concrete step toward remedying historical wrongs. The resolution also urges the prompt and unhindered restitution of cultural items to their countries of origin. 123 countries voted in favor of the resolution. 3 voted against it, including the United States, and 52 countries abstained, including the UK and all of the European Union.
Now, y'all see it up here, man. Look, just acknowledge. This is an acknowledgement that the slave trade was a gravest crime. It also calls for an apology and reparations. You know, you kind of stole people, enslaved them, raped, murdered, killed, all these different things you did to these people. You treated them like animals. You need some reparations for that, you know. There are a lot of things that transpired off of that. Trickle down effect, you know. They're also saying restitution of cultural items because, you know, they went down to Africa and they stole a lot of the African artifacts. You can go to Britain. You can come to America. You can go to a lot of these European countries and go in there and see how do they got all these African artifacts, man, gold and all this, because they stole it from them. And now they want to make it seem like, you know, I know our ancestors stole it, but guess what? We're going to put it in a museum where we charge entry fee to get into this museum, and we get funding from the government to pay for this museum and pay everybody up in here, but we're not going to return it to the people. They want their shit back in Africa. They want their shit back, okay? And pretty much that's just a breakdown. 123 nations voted in favor of this measure. 3 voted against it. Obviously, we already told y'all who those were: the United States, Israel, and Argentina. And then 52 abstained. I call those, they voted against it too. So really, we had 55 countries voted against 123. That's what's going on right here. But either way, though, let them keep going.
So, Isaac, let's start, though, with Ghana. How are people there reacting to the news?
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 40.
Yeah, get out of here.
A lot of people have been following this particular campaign for a long time, like 3 years ago. But this year, it has been intense and people have been following, and a lot of celebrations in terms of people being happy about the fact that eventually their president was able to lead this campaign and the UN has adopted this resolution. So the reaction has been positive. People have been happy about the development today.
And Isaac, Ghana has been pushing for this resolution for a while now. Tell us more about what's behind that.
So Ghana has been the epicenter really of this whole narrative about slavery because the country has several castles and forts, and many of them were used in the this slavery trade that took place many centuries ago. And across the country, in fact, we have 2 of the key castles, the Elmina Castle and also the Kepo Castles, where people always come to visit to see the devastation that took place because of slavery. And we've seen this edifice there and trying to remember exactly how our forefathers actually had to struggle and be taken along the oceans to other parts of the world as slaves. It's something that really keeps people thinking. And I think that this drive or campaign for reparative justice actually is anchored on that we see the remnants of this and we think that something ought to be done, especially even with the issue of securing formal apology from countries that really carried out this particular activity, and in a way having some reparative justice for victims. So this has been ongoing for 3 years now, and eventually we've gotten to this point, driven of course by the passion of the current president who wanted to get this resolution adopted.
And Isaac, let's listen to what UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said about it.
Today, we reflect on a deep betrayal of human dignity, the abduction of millions of Africans, stolen from families and communities they would never see again. I've often said the transatlantic slave trade was a crime against humanity that struck at the core of personhood, broke up families, and devastated communities. I welcome the steps some countries are taking to apologize for their role in the evil of slavery and to join an honest dialogue about its lasting consequences.
Now, Isaac, the resolution calls for reparations for slavery. Are there any specifics on who should be paying reparations to whom?
Okay, so in the resolution that was actually sent to the UN by the Ghanaian or the African team, I should say, the reparation, the demand is that it should be paid by countries that undertook this practice and countries that also benefited from it. So like you mentioned in your introduction, the US, of course, benefited. So they obviously should also partake in paying. And some European countries really who took part in this slavery trade, they ought to pay the reparation. Now, the question has been to whom, and of course, that has been one of the key issues why some countries like the US, or even, for example, the UK, decided not to vote in favor. They, according to the team, they're not asking for money to be paid to African countries or governments. No, they're asking that they should be channeled into a fund that obviously helps to correct some of the imbalances that we've had in the current world because of the slavery, and also to be able to ensure that people who really have been victims of this slavery can be able to heal again and be able to rebuild, get the tools, the skills they need to be economically empowered, so that we can bridge this disparity when it comes to economic fortunes across the world. So that is really the model that they are trying to propose. They are not asking that the money is to be given to government, but they want it to go towards targeted campaigns that helps to correct some of the anomalies that has taken place because of the slavery.
And it's
See, that's one thing that I actually have an issue with a lot of folks, that they argue for reparations. Like in every group, in every people that are on a mission together, there's going to be some divide no matter what. This is where I divide, because I am for reparations. I mean, I'm all in for that, because obviously I'm Black, and obviously my ancestors got done a certain type of way, and this country wouldn't be what the country is today without my ancestors being done that type of way. But for these people that sit around and say that it doesn't have to be cash payments to people, it can be in programs. Fuck all that shit y'all niggas talking about. I'm just telling y'all right now, no, run the fucking check. We have done so much great shit in our community in spite of all the bullshit, that all the oppression that's happened from the greater society. I ain't gonna say who they are, but y'all know who they are. We've done great things. We've had cities and towns, our own banks, our own schools, our own hospitals. We done did all that before. We can do that shit again. Run the check. I don't need these motherfuckers goddamn dictating where our money's going to. No, we send it over here and we'll do what we want to do with it. That's what we gonna do. All that putting it in the program, we can create our own fucking programs. How about we get this separation? They want to be separated from us, pay that money, we'll get the fuck away from you. Stop trying to do all that dumb shit. Like, you just trying to appease motherfuckers that already don't want to do it. But then you gonna give them power to goddamn dictate where that money can go? And what it's gonna go to? No, give it to the people, give it to the descendants, and let them decide what the fuck they want to do with it. I delineate from them motherfuckers when they say that shit, y'all. I'm just being honest with you. And I don't care if some people say, oh, they just gonna spend it on Cadillacs and J. Let them fucking spend it on Cadillacs and J's then. We don't say nothing about y'all meth heads spending all y'all money on meth and fentanyl. Do your thing, bro. Mind your business. But either way, we'll keep going though. I ain't gonna hold you. Hurricane says super facts. I'm just being real, man. Don't tell me where the fuck the money got to go to. Nah, we gonna spend it. Give it to the people. We'll figure it the fuck out. Because obviously y'all took y'all how long to fucking figure it out? Yeah, fuck that.
It's like that there would have to be a lot of discussions about exactly what those reparations would look like. Isaac, thanks so much for talking to us.
All right, Isaac, you was good. Let's go. Isaac, you was good majority of the time, but that last shit was bullshit, Isaac. Correct that shit, nigga.
To the U.S. now. Gerald Horne is a professor of history at the University of Houston. He's published dozens of books, many of them about slavery, including The Capital of Slavery, Washington, D.C., 1800 to 1865. Gerald, so good to have you with us. What's your reaction to this resolution being passed?
Well, I think it's a significant step forward. Certainly, it'll be quite useful in the United States of America because, as you probably know, there is an ongoing struggle for reparations to the descendants of enslaved Africans. You may also know that the administration in Washington, D.C., speaking of that, led by Mr. Trump, is unequivocally hostile to this question of reparations. And I would also like to give a note of celebration and victory, indeed, to the president of Ghana, Mr. Mahama, who was walking in the footsteps of the founding father of this West African nation, speaking of the late, great Kwame Nkrumah. And all around, I think it's a significant step forward.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be talking about reparations in just a second. What does this resolution mean on an emotional and symbolic level for the African diaspora, specifically for people whose ancestors were enslaved?
Well, I think it's quite profound. We in the United States oftentimes recognize that since the population of African descent is a distinct minority, perhaps 13 to 16% of the overall population, we've also and often needed international support and international validation in order to make a step forward. And I think that this resolution at the United Nations is precisely the kind of validation that we have needed in order to propel this movement for reparations, in fact.
So you're saying that basically African Americans, in a sense, needed Ghana to put this resolution forward?
Oh, absolutely.
Look. I don't like that question right there. No, we didn't need Ghanaians to put this effort forward, but it wasn't going to come out of the United States because we don't run this motherfucker. So it's going to have to come from another African country. If y'all really think about it, this resolution got brought to the UN table. Think about it, a lot of these African countries weren't even in the UN fucking like 20, 30 years ago. But they finally got up in there, and the Ghanaians, an African country ran by Africans, black people, had to bring it forth. None of these European nations were going to ever bring this forward. So yeah, in a sense, we did need them to bring that, but it ain't like we ain't been raising the issue over here. Like that's all I'm gonna say on it. But I appreciate them bringing it to the world stage, because obviously we don't run shit over here.
As you may know, the United States is known quite properly as a conservative country. You may also know that polls suggest that a significant percentage of the non-descendants of enslaved Africans are hostile to reparations.
Very hostile. They don't give a fuck about spending 10 to 12 to 14 billion dollars in 2 weeks on fighting a war for another country. Oh, I'm sorry, conflict. But if you talking about giving black people $3 billion, oh hell no. They'll let you go overseas and let their sons and daughters die on another place, on another country's land for another country on some bullshit before they'll goddamn give black people $3 to 4 to 5 to 6, even $10 billion. Hell to the no, bro. They don't want to give a motherfucking $5. Oh, so really, that shit being real. We do have that section of the community. I mean, that section of the country, and it's a big section of the country.
They are represented in Washington by Mr. Trump. And so in order to move the needle, we've needed this kind of international validation, which we've just received at the United Nations.
Now, over 50 countries did abstain in this vote, including the UK and the entire European Union.
I'm gonna let him say that one more time. Who abstained? Because I want y'all to see how funny it is. I want y'all to see how funny it is. Say it again.
Countries did abstain in this vote, including the UK and the entire European Union.
Where did the chattel slavers come from? The UK and the entire European region.
That ain't right. It ain't right.
That's why I said, look, y'all, that's why I said earlier, the people that voted to abstain from either saying yes, they're for the resolution, and they abstained from saying no to the resolution, all of them people really just said no to the resolution. Everybody that had their hand in the cookie jar outside of the United States, Israel, and Argentina abstained. The United States stood 10 toes down, like Trump in office. They don't give a fuck. Trump back, baby. We gonna be openly racist. We don't give a fuck. Fuck them niggas. That's their motto. That's what they've been on from the get-go. We know what it is. It's all right. Look, don't feel no type of way, because we already know. But damn, everybody in Europe, huh? Yo, guess what? Out of all them people in Europe, yeah, that shit funny, Hurricane. Russia voted for it. You know why? They ain't take no slaves, motherfucker. like everybody that got cake on their face, everybody that got fucking blood on their hands is the people that said, nah, we just not gonna be a part of this, you know. especially with that reparations part end up in there. They're like, oh, hell no, not no reparations. We're not going to vote against it because we don't want to seem evil, but we're not going to vote for it. And hopefully there's a lot more people in here that's going to not vote for it. You know, didn't work out for them. It passed. But I'm saying just remember who the hell decided they didn't want to be a part of this. And y'all, for real, Russia, they voted for this to pass. And look at Putin, a little different around now.
3 countries, including the U.S., voted against the resolution. And one reason the U.S. named is that calling slavery the gravest crime against humanity, it said, would create a hierarchy of crimes against humanity, essentially saying that enslavement is worse than other crimes against humanity, including murder and rape and torture. The U.S. ambassador to the UN said, this is not a...
I'm going to correct that real quick, but I'm going to let him finish, though.
Competition. What's your response to that?
Well, as you probably know, the African slave trade involved murder, rape, and torture. You may also
took the words out of my mouth. Thank you.
Also know that the African slave trade lasted for hundreds of years, from the 1500s up until the late 19th century. You may also know that there are still reverberations and repercussions of the unlimited African slave trade in terms of the United States of America, in particular in terms of spiraling rates of incarceration, high rates of unemployment, spectacular rates of infant mortality and death for children. So I think that the resolution in many ways is right on point.
Gerald, I do want to play a few clips from the UN General Assembly debate on this resolution and get your response. The first one is Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama, clearly taking aim at the US and at Donald Trump.
Black history courses are being removed from school curricula. Schools are being mandated to stop teaching students about the truth of slavery, segregation, and racism in American history courses. Books about those topics are being banned in schools and public libraries.
And that's a fact, y'all. Regardless of what any of these other people out here want to say, oh, we just don't want these kids being indoctrinated. Oh, no. You wanted to say, you use that as a guise, which wasn't even happening. And this is shit how they get white people all the time, y'all. They get white people that don't really give a fuck, but then they try to make them into a victim. It's like, yeah, they're teaching the white kids that they're evil and bad and they come from... No, they're teaching them the history of this fucking country. But they use it as a guise to say they're teaching stuff that they teach in college to these kids to make them actually think that these motherfuckers just started whitewashing and erasing all fucking black history. That's what they've been trying to do. As soon as Trump got in, y'all do remember, this motherfucker took Jackie Robinson off the military website. He took Maya Angelou. He fucking the motherfucker that dropped the atomic bomb for them over there in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they took his shit away because his last name was fucking gay. They were just taking everything away that they didn't like. It wasn't about history. It wasn't about indoctrination. It wasn't about none of that nonsense. It was about these motherfuckers trying to goddamn cover up their goddamn fucking dirt. They don't want the next generation to know about all the evil shit they fucking did. So they want to start indoctrinating now, and they just keep working at it till they just completely erase it from history. Completely erase it. It's crazy how they get down like that. Because y'all think when they first put the Pope's son, like the people that were around during that time, you know, knowing that what Jesus might have looked like. When the Pope put his little ugly ass son up there to be the image of Jesus, you know there were people out here that were probably pissed off about that. But you know, they just did it over time for so long that now I go into black churches and see a picture of white Jesus in that bitch. I'm like, y'all niggas stupid as fuck. Can't be in this church. Ain't got no smart people up in this church. Walk past that picture every goddamn day and fucking don't even notice the fucking problem. Either way though, I'm letting him keep going, man. He keep cooking, bro. They be trying to hide their history, yo.
Museums, art centers, and other institutions whose budgets rely in any way on public funds are being prohibited from scheduling exhibitions and programs or from displaying materials promoting racial awareness or Black history. At the very least, they're slowly normalizing the erasure.
That was Ghanaian President John Dramani Mahama. Now let's hear what the U.S. ambassador to the UN had to say.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, yeah, we got a commercial, y'all. We got a commercial. The
The fact that somebody in Asia Pacific can reach out to us.
All right, now he go hit the United States up. United States, please tell us why you voted against acknowledging this is the greatest crime against humanity. Let's find out what the United States say. I'm gonna put him up big screen too. Yeah, big screen for this motherfucker. Go and tell us why. And y'all, when y'all hear his voice, tell me if this motherfucker even sound like he from America. But either way, though, here we go.
United States strongly objects to the cynical usage of
that motherfucker, a descendant of a Nazi. Right. Like that's what this motherfucker sound like. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna let him say what he got to say. But that motherfucker sound like a goddamn descendant of a motherfucking Nazi, bro. Just being honest with you.
The U.S. ambassador to the UN had to say.
The United States strongly objects to the cynical usage of historical wrongs as a leverage point in an attempt to reallocate modern resources to people and nations who are distantly related to the historical victims.
U.S. Ambassador Dan Negri.
Distantly. They trying to make it seem like it happened so long ago. So long ago. Do y'all motherfuckers know y'all still celebrate the 4th of July? The day that y'all turned traitor against your real country, England, take your ass back to Europe type motherfuckers, when y'all wage war against your own country as traitors, y'all still celebrate that. Guess what was happening during that time? Y'all was still bringing motherfucking black people over here to this goddamn land. Y'all still had black people in chains. But y'all celebrated every goddamn day, but you telling us, it's just too long ago. It's just too long ago. Then shut the fuck up about your goddamn past, bitch. Especially the part that you lying about. But either way, though, I'm gonna let it go. I'm sorry, I'm snapping.
Rhea speaking there. Gerald, what's your response to this idea that it's too late for reparations called for slavery?
Well, I disagree ferociously. In fact, as you may know, there is a principle of U.S. law which suggests that when there is a wrong, there should be a remedy. The wrong was the enslavement of millions. The remedy is reparations.
That part right there, Alexis, you goddamn right. They don't give a fuck about the effects that came from slavery. They don't care about how they benefited and how they seem to be running this bitch. Don't care about none of that, right? It is what it is, man. Need some look, the people that's for this shit and they be advocating for it, man. Look, I just put you in the evil category. It ain't nothing. Look, don't feel no type of way about it, bro. You just don't. You on some evil shit. You on evil time. So I'm gonna put you in the evil category. You'll be all right.
And in any case, I was rather mystified by the fact that the U.S. ambassador spoke of countries receiving reparations when in his own backyard in New York City, there are millions of descendants of enslaved Africans who are living in desperate poverty as we speak, as direct relationship to the crime against humanity that was the African slave trade.
Now, you are also a lawyer, so I want to ask you about another criticism brought up by the U.S., and I'm quoting Ambassador Negria here. While we acknowledge the horrors of the past, the United States also does not recognize a legal right to reparations for historical wrongs that were not illegal under international law at the time when they occurred. Gerald, what do you think about that?
My God, these motherfuckers, literally, I'm gonna let him say that again because that's just crazy. But it's amazing how evil people will spin something to try to justify what they did. And think about it. These are the same people that will say, why the hell should we pay for it? We had nothing to do with it. But you over here running mad defense for this shit. And you over here saying some really fucked up shit to goddamn defend it. Listen to what the motherfucker, he just quoting the UN guy. That dude that sound like he yelled Hail Hitler a couple times in his life. Like that motherfucker. Listen to what he said again.
Are also a lawyer, so I want to ask you about another criticism brought up by the U.S., and I'm quoting Ambassador Negria here. While we acknowledge the horrors of the past, the United States also does not recognize a legal right to reparations for historical wrongs that were not illegal under international law at the time when they occurred. Gerald, what do you...
It's okay that we did it because it wasn't deemed illegal by anybody that we respected or bowed down to at the time. It wasn't illegal at the time because We were the ones making the rules, and we were doing the fucked up shit. Nigga, what kind of stupid fucking excuse is that? Like, what are you talking about? It was legal, or it wasn't illegal. And nigga, okay. That's what I'm trying to tell you. These folks in America ain't some sick ass people. The people that defend this shit, that advocate for it, bro. You just like your ancestors, bro. I'm just gonna tell you right up now, evil category. Going on over there. Go to the evil category. I'll holler at you.
You think about that?
Well, I think that that's a questionable invocation of law. And I might also go a step forward to suggest that next in line for reparations, at least in North America, are the descendants of the indigenous population, the Native American population, who were...
They already got reparations. The United States has broke a lot of their fucking treaties now. If they want to regress, they can regress, but they're going to have to get behind us first, though. Just throwing that out there for you, buddy. I understand you want to ride for them. They got casinos right now. They got reservations. I know it ain't shit. I know they gave them some shitty ass shit. But hey, they got something. Like, bro, Japanese got something. Even these motherfucking fake ass fucking so-called people that claim they Jews, they got something. And we ain't even do nothing to them. Nah, bro. Everybody else need to get behind. Get behind the line. Get behind the line. I feel you, brother. We always trying to be inclusive and bringing everybody in. Right now, nigga need to shut the fuck up. They can get behind us. They can get behind us, bro. Let them get on behind us. Get on behind us.
Subjected to genocide, which was the condition precedent to dragging Africans in chains across the ocean to work for free. And certainly it's rather disappointing, I must say, that many members of the European Union voted against this resolution concerning the African slave trade. Now, I know that they want to stay on the good side of Mr. Trump, but even having said that, I think that the ultimate and the utmost of cynicism is the vote of nations like Britain and Portugal and Spain, whose current standard of living and current modernity is attached and connected directly to the unlimited African slave trade.
They wouldn't have the country that they have today if they didn't have all them years of taking advantage of black people. Plain and simple. United States would not be here. Like, honestly, if they didn't here, let's say they didn't have African slaves to come over here and work the land, till the land, and build up the GDP of this country. America right now would probably be, I'm trying to think of a country that might be similar to them. United States would probably be like a country like a fucking Norway or some shit like that. They wouldn't be a world power. They wouldn't be a world power. They would have some spending money or whatever the fuck, but they wouldn't be what they are right now. Because first off, and shout out to Crystal. I see you, Alexis, Crystal, all y'all in the chat. Fucking they wouldn't have had the extra manpower to fuck all the Native Americans up. Because y'all know they were using black people to help do that shit too. They wouldn't have had their civil war, so a lot of them would have been still alive, but a lot of these people weren't skilled workers. They couldn't handle the shit. They couldn't survive over here like that. They was eating each other when they first got over here. The first 2 times they got over here, they was eating each other because they didn't know how to survive. Yeah, they're actually, I don't even want to give them that. They'll probably be like a country out of Africa right now. One of the countries that they've been fucking with all the time, like a Ghana. They might be like a Ghana right now because you wouldn't have had you would have wiped out the Native Americans, and that would have hurt you really, really bad. You wouldn't have had the extra manpower to fight against the French and all them other motherfuckers to take land from them and buy land from them. You wouldn't have had the money to even buy it because, you wouldn't have had the slaves. It would have took you even longer to get to that point. Like, they wouldn't, this country would be a completely different country if they didn't have that labor and that workforce and that fighting force of black people over here. Because think about it, y'all. Black people have fought in every war. Every war this country has ever had, we've been in all of them. And they'll turn around and call black people unpatriotic. We didn't even start the wars. We didn't even start the wars. They started the wars and we fought in them. It's crazy, bro. But now this country would be dramatically different. It would not, I know for a fact, it would not be what it is right now. As powerful as it is right now, if it wasn't for that. They had a 250 plus year head start. Free labor, baby. And then they continue with all the other bullshit in between. They keep keeping them in power. It's crazy. Still to this day. To this day.
It's illegal to drive without car insurance in almost every U.S. state, but there's one thing you could try pretty much any time if you want to save.
Gerald, you've mentioned reparations several times now. What else do you think needs to happen at this point to address the wrongs of slavery and their ongoing impact on people today?
And he lucky I ain't up there. I'm lucky he ain't asked me that goddamn question, because y'all know what I would have told him. No, I would have told him when he talking about, yeah, I know we talked a lot about reparations, but what else you think we need? Like, nigga, now we gonna cover that one first before we talk about anything else. How about that? That's how we need to keep the conversation. No, we need to stay right here on this. This is what we talking about. This is the first step. I don't care about step 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm talking about step 1. Let's get past step 1. Then we can go talk about all that other shit. Then we can have a conversation on that, because I'm not going to give you no avenue, no leeway to try to say, well, this is all we could do, so we did do this at least. No. Focus on that one thing. Run them pockets, man. Run them fucking pockets. I need that. I need that ASAP on some real shit.
Well, I think that Mr. Mahama, the president of Ghana, laid out many other issues. For example, as he suggested in his riveting remarks, there's an ongoing campaign to not teach what happened during the time of slavery. And I speak to you as a person who teaches this issue. That is to say that it is said to be indoctrination if you talk about the horrors of slavery. Obviously, what's at play is the United States would like to portray itself as a shining city on the hill. And it's difficult to make that kind of distorted picture if teachers are teaching about the horrors of the African slave trade. And so certainly education, a dedicated campaign to educate people, not only in the United States, but I would insist globally, about the horrors of what befell Africa in particular.
Gerald, moving forward, how do you see this resolution impacting the conversation about slavery and its effects?
Well, I think it'll have significant impact. As you probably know, there is a change.
But I already know, look, there's going to be some people out here that are naysayers when it comes to this time. Man, that don't mean nothing, whatever we do. Something is better than nothing when we're trying to get something done. We got to start somewhere. It's better than nothing, bro. It's better than nothing. Could always be better, and I wish we could get to the end of this shit and have it solved already. But look, we got to start somewhere, and this is a start. So I'm gonna be a glass half full kind of guy on this one, me personally.
Black radio stations in the United States of America. I am certain and confident that this will be a subject of discussion on these radio stations. There are also numerous Black newspapers. Those newspapers will be printing columns, I assure you, about this resolution. And inevitably, what happens is that these kinds of issues spread from the Black press into the wider U.S. mainstream, and thereby it becomes a powerful tool for education.
Professor Gerald Horne, thank you so much for your time. What do you think? Is it time for nations to apologize for slavery and pay reparations? Let us know in the comments.
And guess what? We about to check the comments, y'all. We gonna see what the people in the comment section were talking about too underneath this video, because we got over 2,000 comments in this bitch. So you say, let me make that bitch a little bit bigger. That's what she said. Matter of fact, I'm gonna slide to the side so y'all can read some of these hoes. But yeah, let me make it a little bit bigger. That's what she said. Yeah, first comment. I actually ain't reading their comment because this their channel. You got the first person talking about Israel, Argentina, U.S., Israel, and Argentina. So we got 97 underneath there. Let's see this shit. Not surprised. Argentina has just ended all labor rights of the people themselves. They elected a Trump fan, idiocracy. Okay, so Argentina on that type of time. Aside from that look at Western nations that chose to abstain. Yeah, and that part right there, like I did say I was gonna show that image, man. Because you had a lot of Western countries that abstained, and it's funny because they told you it was like all of Europe pretty much and shit. But hold on, let me find where that shit was, because he put it up on screen. Matter of fact, we just go to the very beginning because it's in the very beginning. Let me see this shit. Resolution 8. Yeah, look at this shit right here, y'all. Let me full screen that shit up. All these countries that abstain, y'all. Albany abstain. Armenia abstain. Australia, Austria, Belgium, Bosnia, Bulgaria, Cambodia. That was interesting right there. The Cambodia was an interesting one. Canada, Croatia, Cyprus, whatever the fuck that country name is, Denmark, Estonia, Fiji. Like, damn, Fiji, y'all won't smoke? Or y'all must, like, literally, Fiji out there by itself, man. They probably need the funding and the money they just getting from all these other countries. Y'all an island. It's hard to survive on an island when you need other resources. So I get you on that one. They probably voted for survival. But either way, Finland, France, Georgia, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Ireland, Italy, Japan. Y'all dirty motherfuckers. Y'all dirty motherfuckers. Dirty motherfuckers. China didn't even vote against it, bruh. China didn't vote against this shit. But the Japanese did. Okay. That's what's up, you dirty motherfuckers. Latvia. I don't know how the fuck to say that shit, but something Elstein. Lithuania. Whatever the fuck. Madagascar, okay? Malta. Shit. Monaco. Montenegro. The Netherlands. New Zealand. Whatever the fuck that shit is. Norway. Oman. Some of my Arab brothers out here, like, what the fuck going on, bro? I know there's a lot of y'all over there in Oman. Like, really, what the fuck? Okay. Either way. Palau, I don't know where the fuck that is. Poland, Portugal. I don't know what the fuck that is. Romania. Same whatever the fuck that is. Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain. Obviously, Spain was going to abstain. I'm surprised they didn't come right outright and just say, nah, we vote against it, because y'all was big on the slave trade, motherfucker. Sweden, Switzerland. Who else we got? Ukraine. Sending y'all aid over there. Know y'all got some black American soldiers over there helping y'all motherfuckers out. Y'all motherfuckers gonna vote against this shit. Fuck y'all too, bitch. In the United Kingdom, obviously. Yeah, United Kingdom. It's like, nigga, all these countries, majority of them, if not the ones that are getting financial foreign aid and shit, majority of these countries participated in that bullshit. But they abstained, y'all. They didn't have enough balls to vote against the shit. They just abstained. Like, y'all some hoe-ass motherfuckers, bro. Like, then, goddamn, stand 10 toes down on your evil, bro. Stand 10 toes down on your evil, bro. So they don't want to return treasures, stolen treasures and profits made on the backs of stolen people, period. And that's a real ass fucking quote right there. That's some real ass shit right there. They don't. They say, matter of fact, ain't they the ones who say to the victor, go to spoils? That's how they view it. Even though they did some evil ass shit, bro. It's some evil ass shit. Don't give a fuck. Got 12 replies. Let's see what they said up in here. I don't know what TBF stand for, but they weren't the ones who were stealing them. They only bought them. And see, motherfuckers be saying that shit all the time. It's some to be for real, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why these white folks be saying that shit, bro. Y'all just be saying anything to try to dilute. And that's why I say y'all just like y'all ancestors when y'all say that dumb shit, because you're running cover for the evil that your ancestors did. You just try to throw anything in there to muddy up the water. There was like only 2-3 tribes that sold fucking slaves. I can show y'all where the goddamn slaves were coming from. So if y'all want to say 2 or 3 tribes are the main reason for all this, that's kind of crazy, because look where they were coming from. Senegambia, Sierra Leone, Benin, Biafra, West Central Africa, Southeast Africa, in other parts of Africa. 2,400,000, 3 million, 1 million, 2 million, 200,000, 600,000. Like, bro, y'all trying to say, oh, it was only 2 tribes, 3 tribes out of all this land? Motherfucker, do you know how big fucking Africa is? Like, bro, stop the bullshit, bro. Like, stop the bullshit, bro. Like, yeah, that's full cap. Like, you just trying to muddy waters up for the evil shit that your ancestors did. But nah, the motherfucker said, if you know those items are stolen and you buy it anyways, you're literally stealing from the original owner. And that is kind of crazy, though, because these are the same white people that will actually okay the goddamn rules and laws that we have in America. You know, it's against the law for you to accept stolen property. They'll lock you up. Go try to pawn a fucking goddamn, let's say you bought a fucking PlayStation off a Facebook Marketplace. And then after a while, you say you don't want that bitch no more. You go take it to the pawn shop and sell it. If that motherfucking PlayStation was stolen, nigga, guess who going to jail? Yo dumb ass. You didn't even have to steal it. These are white people rules they operate under right now. And they'll use that excuse right there. That is great. That's a good example. Your ass go to jail for accepting stolen property. But either way, though, it's called the welfare system. That's another. It's got another one of these coon ass crackers up in here. Is the welfare system. There's more white people on the welfare system, but you know the uneducated motherfuckers that be using up all the welfare don't know that. And then on top of that, the biggest recipients of welfare in the United States is actually these corporations. That's why Elon Musk getting like $4 or $5 million a day from the federal government. But y'all ain't saying shit about that. But you care about Keisha though. You need to worry about Randy and Tammy in the back fucking snorting fucking heroin in the trailer park with no shoes on, dirty ass feet, motherfucker. But either way though, let's see. Well, they wasn't exactly stolen. They was bought in African tribes, in Africa of tribes. Like these motherfuckers still, they keep putting this shit out here. Another white person. You say, good thing slavery was non-existent everywhere but the United States. Another white person trying to be hee hee ha ha. The motherfucker, y'all used to, I ain't even gonna talk about what y'all used to do because y'all like to hype up Vikings. Y'all literally made a whole TV series about the Vikings. You know the Vikings were some of the evilest, most degenerate motherfuckers that ever walked this earth. And their own demise came from their own stupidity. Because all they would do was just travel down from where they were at, go to other white people towns, murk the men, steal everything they could steal, and take the women back as slaves and fuck them and start, and like that's what they used to do. And they never occupied no land, so eventually everybody got tired. Other white people got tired of them coming down there doing that shit for over years. Then they went over there and murked them, made them convert to Christianity and shit. It's amazing how that shit works, but you know they hype that shit up. And that's all perfectly fine. But you know, yes, we ain't gonna talk about y'all shit. We talking about chattel slavery. You know, where you took the person and everything that came from them. There was no chance of buying your way out or escaping. Well, you could try to run if you wanted to, but yeah, you couldn't buy your way up out of this shit. It's a complete different story, bro. But you know, I'll let them keep having their shit and say, even if what do you say? Even if they were to return them, let's say in terms historical valuables and money, African governments would steal all the money and spend it buying Western luxuries. I know because I know my people. So this person trying to act like they black. And if they do so, fucking what? That's what I got to say to people that say that. Well, I don't want to give it to you because I don't think you're going to spend it responsibly. It ain't your fucking goddamn business what the fuck I spend it on. You need to right your wrong. And then you can go on about your business. Get the fuck on. And I don't know why a lot of black people, like that's even if this is even a black person, it's probably some white dude or Indian dude in fucking India right now writing that shit. That's a crazy response. It makes no fucking sense. Makes no sense at all. You say nothing wrong with that. Yeah, this last one I'm gonna read. Yeah, matter of fact, is this one long? Oh Lord Jesus Christ, I might not read all this. Yeah, because it happened over 200 years ago, and all the guilty parties are literally skeletons now. No, they're not, because y'all actually benefited from it. This is collective racial punishment. This isn't justice. Okay, then why the fuck y'all treat black people like y'all treat black people in America? If one black person did something wrong to white people will say that's all black people. Have y'all ever noticed that? But every time they do some shit, you know, like a mass school shooter or some shit, they try to say it's an isolated incident. But when it comes to us, it's like, oh, it's a part of the culture. It's all this stuff. Black people ain't never waged no war in this world. What world war we ever waged around this bitch? But we're the violent ones. We're the dangerous ones. Yeah, that's what dummies buy into. They better go look up their goddamn history and understand. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. But look, I'm actually gonna show some because we in and out tonight. I got one from the Amazing Lucas because he actually had a call-in show where people were calling in about this, and there's always a coon in the group, bro. There's always a coon in the group, and I'm telling y'all, when y'all hear this dude talk, bro, he one of them black Republicans. That's all I'm gonna tell you. We are the black Republicans, like that motherfucker. He one of them. Motherfucker don't even know. I want y'all to hear this shit, man. This shit was crazy. And let me see. I've said the same way if you can prove your land was stolen 2 years ago, you can sue and get it back now. Yeah, real shit. But they dude, you already know how they treat us. They don't give a fuck about black folks. But either way though, man, go ahead and get it, Lucas.
If they do give the money, the African nations are gonna try to get it for themselves. That's ours. They need to be paying us.
You're on the line. What's the disagreement?
Yeah, I disagree with you said about FBA. I support FBA.
What do you support about it?
I support Black Americans don't come from Africa, and I support. And I support getting these immigrants out of the United.
Okay, so the strong stance is on immigration and Black Americans aren't from Africa.
Yeah, I'm a foundation of Black. I can't trace not one relative from Africa. Not one.
So that means that you were from this land?
Well, foundational Black Americans, we like an admixture. You know, a little European. For me, I got some European, some native, and some filthy African blood in me.
Okay, why is it filthy African blood? I don't understand.
Have you seen that country? The people live in tents over there, man, in huts.
Africa is a continent, firstly, but not everybody in Africa lives in huts. Have you ever been to Africa?
I know what I heard and seen. My neighbor's been.
And see,
in what part of Africa?
Look, y'all can't tell me this don't sound like one of them old white women that be calling the conservative. I don't know if y'all ever listen to conservative radio, like talk radio, bro. It is very interesting to listen to that shit. I ain't gonna lie. I found out what the white people were listening to, and I started listening to it. Their minds are fucking crazy. This dude right here sounds like a old white woman in the middle of fucking Montana, ain't seen a black person in fucking 30 years talking like this. Ain't never left Montana. Didn't even graduate high school. Got 12 kids. like this, that type. That's what he sound like right now. Talking about these people in Africa, talking about a whole continent, these people living in tents. Bruh, we got motherfuckers in California, the richest state in America, got people living in tents, motherfucker. So what kind of shit is that to say anyways? And that's not majority of the fucking countries in Africa. Like, that's crazy. These people don't be making no sense. And this is a black dude, y'all. This is a black dude. This shit is embarrassing.
Where they go to?
They went to Kenya, and they went to and they seen people living in shanty towns and huts.
Do you understand?
I've seen people in Africa.
But don't you think that would be an unfair representation of Africa? Just as it would be an unfair representation of the U.S. if we were to go to Skid Row and judge all of the U.S. on Skid Row?
Well, no, because the Democrats call Skid Row.
The Democrats what?
What the fuck? How was that a response? Lucas is saying, like, dude, we can go to any place in America and find a shitty ass place where people are living in fucked up conditions. Would it be okay if we went to that place and then based the entire United States off of just that place, knowing that we have cities, major cities with amazing things going on in it? They have that exact same thing in Africa. You just don't know it. Would it be fair? He said yes because of the Democrats? Because of the damn Democrats? Okay.
The Democrats are the reason Skid Row is true. Because the mayor, governor of California, all Democrat. And they support giving out people drug paraphernalia on Skid Row and all of that. They give people pipes down there. Yeah.
You know that they actually do they have a program out there so people can do drugs safely, because they know these people gonna do drugs. They're not finna help them with their financial situation or whatever the hell, but like, you want to do drugs safely, they actually will give them people needles and gauzes or whatever the fuck so they can do it safely. Skid Row was fucked up before they even started doing that. They just recently started doing that to try to help some of them people to a certain extent. Skid Row was fucked up way before that, buddy. And the dude gonna claim that he live in California, y'all. So Skid Row been fucked up for years, decades, centuries. But he gonna blame it on the Democrats who recently passed some shit like a couple years ago where they will actually give people clean material. So these people ain't out here rushing to the hospital, dying and taking up medical services and shit. It's a reason behind all the shit. It ain't just to give junkies shit to do. They were clogging up the goddamn hospital, and other people that actually had a medical emergency were had to wait even longer, get up in there. Now, get these people some clean shit, so because they gonna do it regardless, and we ain't finna help. So give them some free goddamn needles, nigga. But this nigga don't know what the fuck he talking about. I'm letting him keep going though. He's a black Republican, y'all.
San Pedro, 7th Street by the LA Mission. Yeah, I know that area quite well. The Democrats caused that, but FBA, we're delinerating from these other
Delineating? You mean delineating? See, then they can't even say his words right. I know this nigga dumb.
People, you know, I'm not an African, and I don't want Africans getting none of my reparations money or any of my benefits. I personally think they should go home. I think they're cowards because if they so smart, why they can't fix up their homeland? My mama didn't have to leave Georgia.
Couldn't the same argument be presented to Black Americans? Well, you have to understand that the same problems that Black Americans are facing here in the States is 10 times fold in Africa.
But it's ran by Black people. The whole country.
Well, hold on.
Ghana is ran.
Well, think about what you're saying, right? What's the whole hustle of ran by Black person, right? The whole hustle is that not every Black person is for Black people. That's why the whole skin folk, not all skin folk are kinfolk.
How about your dumb ass, nigga?
Yeah, but Africans should stay in Africa. Those Africans should go back over there and make it great again. Yeah, they should go to Africa. The Nigerians should leave America and go to Nigeria and make it an empire, make it great again.
So Black Americans shouldn't be allowed to travel to Russia or Sweden or anywhere else or Australia?
Who want to go to Russia with that idiot Putin?
Well, I'm just saying, should Black Americans be forced or constricted to the United States?
No, but I've never left the United States and I'm not leaving.
We know you ain't left, nigga. And yeah, they were deliberating like I don't know what the fuck that nigga said. He damn sure didn't say the word right, and we can tell that you ain't left the country, bro. We can tell.
In America?
Well, I'm just asking why shouldn't Black Americans be constricted to the United States, but Africans be constricted to Africa?
No, I didn't say you couldn't visit. I say live. They should go. They should stay in Africa. They should live over there. You know, a lot of
so Black Americans shouldn't be allowed to live wherever we want to live.
If we're from America, why can't we stay here in the United States? I'm not leaving America.
Well, what if I want to? What happens if I want to live in Thailand for a year, or if I want to live in Ukraine for maybe a few months?
Can I tell you what happened? You seen what happened? Them Africans, what happened to them? The Ukrainians. They wouldn't let them on the train.
Yeah, I understand. But what if I choose to live there though? Despite that, just like how Black Americans choose to live here, despite the disrespect that this country shows us, shouldn't we be allowed to have that autonomy?
Wait a minute. Black Americans have rights here. We've been here before the Caucasian.
What rights do I think that's the big hustle. Is that many Black Americans have Stockholm syndrome? Is that you actually think that you're an American?
No, Black Americans. This is our land. We're not from Africa. We're
But don't you think
we've been here before Caucasians got here?
If that's the case, so what you're telling me is that during the transatlantic slave trade, is that the Black Americans, the FBAs, they were put into slavery even though they knew the land?
Some of the Black Cherokee and the Black Seminoles, unfortunately, because how dark they were, they got rounded up. Now you got these fake Indians called Siberians. Yeah, those the fake ones. The real ones are melanated. Yeah, and I didn't come from.
So how does that? But how does that work when it comes to reparations? Because the actual Indians, Native Americans, actually got reparations. So wouldn't that mean that the FBA aren't actually Native Americans?
No, we just got to get out. But the Ghanaian president, he shouldn't have no say in it. He shouldn't have no, because number one,
he just glossed over his argument, and that's why, I think people need to be careful with that argument. We got Black, and I ain't gonna lie, I make the argument, but I try my best to make sure I make people understand. Yes, Black Africans had came over here to this country way before Europeans even got here. We had settled into these communities. There were natives over here too, though. Everybody is a descendant of us, no matter what, when it comes down to it. But there were other people already over here when we came. We traded. We had trade routes. That's why you see the statues down in South America pointing exactly towards the fucking Africa. How the fuck they know that area, that exact point? Put a laser on this motherfucker and shoot it. Bitch, it's gonna go straight to where the fuck them people actually came from. We had been over here. We had intermingled into these communities, but we also are descendants of people that got brought over here too. You need to make sure you put in that put in that little like caveat just so people understand, because now if he's just saying, nah, we was here beforehand and we got treated like the Native Americans, we was already here, then guess what? They already gave the Native Americans something. So why are you even a part of this conversation? This is about Black Africans, like descendants of slaves. Black Americans, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said Africans. It's about them. You shouldn't be a part of it if you saying you already been here. But he don't get what he's talking about. He don't get what he's talking about. Yes, we were a part of those tribes too, but we were enslaved. We weren't treated like the regular Africans. They took the niggas over here. Y'all niggas get away from them motherfucking. Y'all motherfuckers go over there. Separate. Divide and conquer, motherfucker. But he don't know what the fuck he talking about. And see, a Hurricane say, yep, Seminole and Africa was working together. Facts. Yeah, we had trade routes, man. The motherfuckers sit around still denied to this day. Like, bro, we was over here way before y'all motherfuckers, bro. You can't find some types of gold over here in the Americas when it was only fucking found in Africa. How'd it get here? Not by y'all motherfuckers. Y'all ain't got no history of knowing how it got over here. But we do. Like, come on now.
He's not from over here. If anything, he needs to
well,
get
the
out
Ghanaian
of
president isn't talking about Native Americans. He's talking about those who were on the transatlantic slave trade, right? So if you're Native American, if FBA is Native American or Native to America, they wouldn't be included in reparations.
You gonna let me? I see. You ain't gonna let me finish.
No, go ahead.
Word in. Oh no, I said some black people came on them ships, but we had do you know what an ethnogenesis is? We're an admixture of a lot of different groups. Black Americans, whether you know this right, you know we're not full. You know they're not full-blooded Africans. Some of us only have about 10 to 20% of African blood in us. We're primarily indigenous European and some filthy African blood.
But wouldn't those who had any African blood be?
Look, y'all, look, and this is what I say. Like, I have my disagreements with Africans when they talk shit. They be talking about black Americans don't have no culture and all this woo stuff. Like, I have my pushback for them, and I tell them to go back to their goddamn country. But it's over some bullshit that came out your mouth to disrespect. I'm not gonna sit over here and call these motherfuckers filthy African blood and all that shit. Like, what kind of shit is that, bro? That's the shit them racist ass white folks fucking say. And I think the nigga said he in Georgia. So it would make sense. It would make sense. He probably was hanging out with them boys in the trailer park and not hanging out with the niggas in the street.
Why would they get reparations? I don't understand. Because I would think that only the Native Americans.
Some of the natives.
But only the natives
were enslaved. Some of them were enslaved.
But wouldn't that make your bloodline impure?
No, that means you deserve reparations if you was slave. Reparations is not based off of race; it's based off of your lineage. And if your lineage had slavery, like some of the black indigenous and some of the black Americans that do have African blood in them, they deserve reparations. But Ghana shouldn't get nothing. That man is not a black American. He's from Ghana. He need to go fix Africa up. No people in Africa live in tents, man.
I don't even think he understands what reparations would be paid to the African countries. The United States would not be paying to African countries. The only countries in Africa that would get money for the enslavement, this whole thing would be the ones where they actually came in and occupied their country and set up apartheid. The only people that really be getting reparations are really the motherfuckers in America, guaranteed coming this way. But I'm like, dude, they would have to pay the countries that occupied their lands and took over their fucking resources and hindered their people from growing and progressing in life or whatever the hell as a nation. They would have to pay that. That's France, Spain, United Kingdom, Britain, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Those countries would be paying that, buddy. The reparations that we will be getting will be coming from the United States government for what the fuck they did to us over here. But he's arguing that they shouldn't get nothing. Nigga, the people that's gonna be paying them ain't gonna be the ones that's paying us. We got another payer. They got to get their shit from over there, bro. So what the fuck are you even talking about? You just talking shit about African countries. Nigga, you come from one of them. You got a great Super 17-time great granddaddy, nigga, that's from somewhere over there, motherfucker. Why you talking shit? I don't like coon ass niggas like that, bro. I do not like coon ass niggas like that, nigga. They not taking away from nothing that we would get. And the sad part is we need to be happy that they brought it up, bro. Because like I said earlier, dude, we were never, as the United States of America, ever going to bring that measure to even be voted on at the UN. We don't run this country. White folks argue tooth and nail. They goddamn make sure black people don't get nothing. And they advocate for bad shit to happen to black people. We would have never, as a country, been the people that brought that resolution to be even voted on. We should be happy that the Ghanaians actually brought that shit to the table. We should be happy about that because now we can get the conversation going a little bit more because now the world has acknowledged this shit. But this nigga over here talking about that nigga don't need to get nothing. Nigga, shut your stupid ass up and go fucking pick up some trash, bitch. I don't know what you need to be doing. Matter of fact, just going over there with them white folks, man. Go hang out and goddamn one of them sons. Go to Whitesville, Georgia. Go to Whitesville, Georgia and spend the night out there. Go sleep in the park one night and see how the fuck them white folks treat you since you over here fucking pussy blocking for their ass. Because that's what he's doing. He pussy blocking. And the Hurricane said, I'm surprised Ghana did it because the United States and Ghana are buddies. Yeah, on some real ass shit. But, you know, after he and Trump them said all that bullshit about, you know, they killing these South Africans and all that shit, I think they starting to feel some type of way. And then seeing what Ibrahim Traore doing down there in Burkina Faso, they starting to realize, like, bruh, and China coming in helping out too, like, bro, we don't really need to rely on these motherfuckers so much because we already see what they do when we rely on them. They just come in and steal our resources and throw chump change at us. Like a lot of countries starting to turn on them. Even the white countries are turning on the United States off of the bullshit. Even though they stayed in line on that vote, though. They stayed in line on that vote.
How somebody gonna tell me something? I live in a house. They live in a tent. They can't tell me nothing. Oh, I understand.
But wouldn't the black
the Democrats support?
Wouldn't the black Americans try to get as far as the reparations that the Native Americans got? Because if you're actually Native American, right? If you're part of the, you know, the Native American tribes or whatnot.
Not them Siberians. Not them Siberians.
Yeah, the Native American tribes. Wouldn't you just try to get, you know, a casino? Because they've already given reparations to the Native Americans. So if they've already given reparations to Native Americans, then why would you get reparations if you're part of the Native Americans? I don't understand.
I just told you, black Americans are an admixture of filthy African blood, some Native blood, and some European. We
filthy African blood. He keeps saying that shit, bro. That's crazy.
We have it all in us. We have a combination, so we should get all of this money. We should get some of the money from and the Africans, for the black Americans that descend from the Africans should pay reparations before the United States or the white man. I want the African to pay first. And I know how they can pay us. I know exactly how they can pay us. The first thing that president need to get out of.
See, this motherfucker over here blocking for white folks. He running a shield game for white people and he don't even know it. He think he's saying something. I think he thinks he's being profound and saying some shit that ain't nobody ever thought of. Dude, you sound like a fucking racist ass white person in black skin. That's all you sound like. Before the white people that enslaved us and took all our generations and all this, before they paid, the Mexicans got to pay first. But I can't tell you which ones because, you know, the lie keep changing. It went from fucking all Africans sold all Africans over here to, man, and then it was a few tribes. Now they trying to break it down to 3. Look, it's going to turn out it's going to be like 2. 2 tribes that maybe sold like maybe, what, 3? I'm going to give a crazy number. 300,000 people. And the rest of them were just stolen. They're like, yeah, they need to pay first for the white people. But man, shut your goofy ass up, bruh. Like, that's a goofy ass nigga, bruh. Like he do this little Hurricane say, and he sound like he don't read up on history. He don't. That motherfucker, I know that's a black Republican. I know a black Republican when I hear one. I can't see that motherfucker, but I can hear him. And that motherfucker sounds just like a black Republican. I swear, man, this shit crazy. Hurricane said, I want the people that got enslaved to give me money first, laughing out loud. Like, on some real ass shit.
America trying to steal our money. And I know how the Africans
why would Africa pay reparations?
Because they sold some of their citizens to America.
Okay.
Some black Americans have, right? So
what harm did Africa pay? What I don't understand. What harm did Africa do to black Americans? Because isn't them selling you
they sold some of them into slavery. That's the harm it did. And they need to pay us reparations. They should give us 20% of their GPA and control of their seaports.
That nigga said GPA. Not GDP, y'all. They should give us what? This nigga said GPA. On GPA, Ryan, that motherfucking nigga. Like on GPA.
Slavery.
Lord.
That's the harm it did. And they need to pay us reparations. They should give us 20% of their GPA and control of their seaports. I want some of them gold and diamond mines. They give them to Vladimir Putin. Russia buying up the whole country. So them filthy Africans need to give me my cut.
Well, I don't think the whole continent of Africa was involved in the slave trade.
Yeah, but Ghana was, and that man needs to get out of here.
Gotcha. So you believe Africa should pay before any other white country pays?
Yeah. Why they over here trying to get our money? You know,
I don't think they're trying to get any money. I think it was more of a recommendation because the bill, if I'm not mistaken, was just about acknowledging that slavery was a crime against humanity.
No, they trying to get our money. That's what they trying to do. They gonna try to get the money.
What money are they trying to get?
The money.
Because I'm unaware of Black Americans getting any
allocated.
Do you believe that the U.S. is going to give
in the future?
You believe the U.S. is going to give Black people reparations on a federal level?
If they do give the money, the African nations are going to try to get it for themselves. That's ours. They need to be paying us. A filthy African, no African deserves nothing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm so disappointed. Do I got something to show how disgusted I am? Well, we'll just do this.
Shame. 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 Shame.
That's all I got for him, bro. Because I don't know what's wrong with that dude, bro. Like for real, Dan, you shit. Do you look in the mirror and see somebody different than what's in the mirror? That's crazy, bro.
I don't know. It just seems like there seems to be more disdain for Africa than there does for the United States.
Yeah, I support Trump deporting all these immigrants out of the country. I'm foundation. I didn't have to flee my country. Anybody that had to flee their country, to me, you're not a real man or a woman. I've been in this country for generations, and my mama ain't had to leave, my daddy. I don't know not one relative that had to leave the United States, and I'm not leaving.
Hey, guess what? They ain't have to leave because they probably didn't have the ability to leave because the people that Lucas is talking about made it that way. You talking about you ain't never left. Bitch, I don't think you want to leave, and I don't even think you have the capability of leaving, nigga. Like, look, if I put it, look, I want you to do, I want to say this to him.
You need to leave.
That's what I want to say to him. He probably ain't got the ability to leave. Talking about motherfucker ain't left. Man, most people don't even fucking travel, nigga. Period. Inside the United States. Nigga might go to another town, and most people ain't going from state to state to state to state. It's certain. It's probably about 45 to maybe 50. Nah, ain't in the 50s. It's lower 40s of people that actually then went to multiple states. Most people don't be traveling like that, bro. Most people ain't got money like that to be moving around. And then when you talk about leaving the country, shit, that percentage get even smaller. I forget what the number is. What the number said for how many Americans have a U.S. passport. Matter of fact, let me see. I'm gonna ask Google real quick. Like we gonna figure this out. What percentage of Americans have a U.S. passport? They're saying 48% got a passport. 48%. So that's pretty much hold on, say, okay, we got some valid ones. Hey, look, that's still good. That's still good. That's actually good. But I still think my point still stands. Like, nigga, most people ain't fucking leave. Man, in sad part, having a passport don't mean you left the country. You just got a passport. Fucking you don't need a passport now to vote. If Trump done pass that SAVE Act, motherfucker, your driver license ain't gonna work for you no more. That SAVE Act, you ain't gonna add on your driver license. You're like, man, I'm just getting to vote in my ID. Nah, sir, I need a birth certificate or a passport. That's what gonna hit you with. So you gotta go pay a tax to get a passport, or you're gonna have to pay a tax or find your fucking birth certificate. And I know a lot of people don't know where the fuck their birth certificate is. But Nah, nigga, man. I don't. Hurricane said, like I always say, Alabama got some great bars. Man, motherfucker ain't never been nowhere, bro. Talking crazy. I don't know what the fuck wrong with this nigga, man. He a coon, bro.
I'll take my stand here in America, and I'll never leave. If you're an immigrant and you came from another country, you're a coward and go home.
But you're not.
That's all I gotta say.
The issue I have is that you're not American. FBA wouldn't be American, right? Because if you were here before, Christopher Columbus and the Pilgrims and everything, then you're not American, right?
America is
because
a continent. I'm from
America existed. There was no America during that time.
Well, I can't agree with Lucas on that one because would you say that Native Americans are American? Yeah, it wasn't considered America at the time. White people didn't give it the term America yet, but people already lived on this land. So are you going to say that the Native Americans are not American then? I don't think he would go that far. I don't like this. I don't like the way he tried to like pivot on that one. But either way, I'm letting him keep going. I don't see how this works because he would still be American, bro. He would still be American.
America was created 1776 and everything. They created America, the founding fathers. So if you were here before then, you're not an American. You'd be something else.
If you're born in the United States, you're an American.
What I'm saying is there was no America at that time.
When I was born in 1985, it's America.
85. That would make him 41? No, 40. He 40. He that dumb at 40? Damn, that nigga 40 and dumb.
Yeah, it's America.
But if you're saying that you come from a lineage that was native to the land, then you would be something else, wouldn't you? Because that would just make...
No, Lucas, that's why they called the Indians Native Americans. Just still American. He would still be American. He'll be exactly what the hell you call us. We're Black Americans. FBA. He'll still be the same thing. I don't know why Lucas is going down this line of questioning, thinking that he gonna get him on something. I don't know. Lucas probably, he been trying to be real nice throughout this shit. I will give him that one. So maybe that's what's throwing him off.
Make you the same as everyone else, as all the pilgrims and everyone else who came here and everyone else who immigrated over here. You're saying that you're something different than that. You're saying that you were here before there was America, right?
I say the Black indigenous were here before America, before Columbus. Yeah.
So shouldn't you label yourself as something else besides? So shouldn't you label yourself something else different besides America? Because then it muddies the water. Because you're not American, right?
But I am American. I'm a United States citizen. Well, am I not? I have an ID.
But weren't you forced? But weren't you forced to be a United States citizen?
I'm still an American, and I didn't have to flee my homeland.
But hold on,
I wasn't forced to flee my homeland.
But you did have
here.
But think about it. You did have to flee your homeland because what you're saying is that this was your land. A group of white people came over here, enslaved
I have to flee my country when I'm still on it.
Well, let's
fleeing is when you go to another nation.
Well, think about it because the reason why I say that is because
no, you're not making sense.
Well,
he's saying that they took your shit, so it ain't yours no more. But you just stayed. Like somebody come in. I guess the situation, I don't know if you would call it fleeing. I wouldn't consider it fleeing, but it's pretty much like somebody break into your house and say, "This is my house now, bitch," and you just say, "Well, I'm staying in there. I'm just still my room." It's like they took your house, but you keep the room. I wouldn't consider it fleeing, but that's pretty much the point. I don't know what the fuck these niggas talking about right now.
Let me see if I can, because I could be Nigerian. I hear you. I could be wrong.
Here is a Nigerian.
But
that's a Nigerian.
Got you, Nigerian, because they flee their country to come over here. But here's the thing where I'm having a trouble is that if this was originally your land, what you're telling me is that the people here were so weak and docile that they allowed a bunch of white people who didn't know the land to not only take over the land, enslave you, use you as labor to build up their country, which they labeled as America, and then made you and forced you to be considered as American because they didn't even want you to be Americans. Because originally during the Naturalization Act, the only people that could come over here were actually white people. They didn't even consider the black people who were here during slavery as Americans. So I don't know why anyone would take credit in you being conquered and then relabeled, right? Because you don't know as far as your history. They removed that. You don't know your culture. They removed that. You don't know the original language that you were talking while you were on this land before they came over here. So they stripped you of everything that made you native to this land and now gave you a new costume, which was American. I don't know why you would be promoting that or supporting that.
I support it because I want these immigrants out the country. That's why I support it. They need to go back to their filthy homelands.
Yeah, this shit crazy, bro. This shit wild. You saw that shit, man?
I'm sorry, y'all. That look after that damn dialogue Lucas gave him and shit. I'm like, nigga, it's something that we all as Black Americans have to hold that ill, because that's if we want to claim that position he claimed about us being over here earlier, and I know we were. That if we want to say we came from those people that were already over here earlier, not from the people that came on the boat, like, nigga, we have to accept the fact that, like, nigga, everything Lucas said is what happened. Say, nigga, you so damn docile. And that's the problem with the Black community right now, man. We so forgiving and we're so accepting. We're so forgiving, we're so accepting to everybody else besides our own. Now, we do it with people we cool with, but when it's Black people we don't know, you already know we on 10 anyways. Like, nigga, what? A lot of us look at each other the same way the white folks want everybody else to look at us. Well, you know, we got folks that do it. We got folks that do it. We all, I'm pretty sure all of us are guilty of doing it at one time or not, if not every fucking damn day. But you have to accept that fucking position that's what the fuck happened. And that nigga responded with, matter of fact, let him say what he responded with again.
I don't know why you would be promoting that or supporting that.
I support it because I want these immigrants out the country. That's why I support it. They need to go back to their filthy homelands.
But what does that?
That nigga he sound like a white racist, bro. He just sound like a white racist from the South, bro. And the sad part, we know he from Georgia, so well, at least we got the South part right. Like,
have to do with how they treated you and your people.
I could care. I just want them out the country.
Wait, you could care less about how they stripped you of your land, your culture, your heritage, and all that? You just have this much animosity towards immigrants?
Yeah, I want them to leave.
Gosh. How have they negatively impacted your life?
No smoke for the oppressor. No smoke for the person that had your family go through all the hardships that they went through. No smoke for the people who created the entire system to make sure you come in last place every time. No smoke for that. But smoke for some people that might come over here later because they got some problems in their country. Now, I can understand if you had a person from another country in America criticizing Black people, because I had this argument and I will have this argument till the cows come home. Don't let you come to this country in America and start trying to criticize my community when you fled your community. But I don't think this is the situation right now. I don't think that he just want them out. He just want them to go back to their filthy country with their filthy African blood. Like, bro, what the fuck? Are you fucking a Karen? Look. Just tell me, are you fucking a Karen? Just tell me. I think he might be fucking a Karen. This is crazy, bro.
You ever been to Los Angeles?
I live in LA.
Been to South? Okay. Did you know the Crenshaw district at one time was 70% Black? Now it was down to about 40% Black. Did you know that, sir?
Okay, what does that have to do with immigrants?
If we get every immigrant out of LA, all these immigrants go back to their homeland, it'll be a lot of space in LA. We could get a lot of homeless people in houses.
How do immigrants get these houses, though?
I'm going to tell you, just keep cutting me off.
I'm sorry.
I said if we get them all out the country, we can put...
That nigga getting mad, bro. He would do that shit while I was talking to him, bro. I would have hit him with this one real quick.
But check your tone, girl. Keep your inside voice on. So push your ass outside.
Like, Lucas being real nice tonight, man. Like, bro, I would told that nigga, man, who the fuck you talking to, man? You better calm your ass down. Listen, he got all high pitch and shit.
And it'll be a lot of space in LA. We could get a lot of homeless people in houses.
How do immigrants get these houses, though?
I'm going to tell you, just keep cutting me off.
I'm sorry.
I said if we get them.
Hey, look, he called him a bitch, too. Look. He did. I heard that shit.
Homeless people in houses.
How do immigrants get these houses, though?
I'm going to tell you, just keep cutting me off.
I'm sorry.
I said if we get them all out the country, we can put those homeless people in those houses.
Were the homeless
a whole lot of houses?
Were the homeless people in those houses before the immigrants?
I don't know. I know the immigrants need to go home and they need to get out the country.
So usually when a group of people come into an area, the only way that they get a house that was owned by a black person is if the black person sells the house. So wouldn't the responsibility be on the black homeowners to not sell their houses to immigrants so that we can maintain a black community?
No, the responsibility needs to be on these immigrants to go back home. That's where the responsibility needs to be, for them to go home.
Gotcha.
For them to get out of America.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Look. Oh, man, look. Matter of fact, I'm going to let him finish first.
Yeah, you got me.
I understand. Gotcha. All right. Well, I appreciate the call, man. No immigrants. Understand.
And long live Black America. And get the hell with these immigrants.
Absolutely. Hear you loud.
Hey, look, I'm just going to play it real quick, like, bro. This shit.
Don't let the liberal media tell you how to think and feel. If you have hate in your heart, let it out.
Hate. Matter of fact, hold up, man. Look at
Next say something while I'm talking is getting shot. Please believe that.
Man, just hate, bruh. It's like, good God Almighty, bruh. And look, we gotta own that. But you know, the funny things I will say to white America, guess what? You got that one black dude literally advocating majority of what a lot of y'all don't want to say in public and say out in front of other folks. He's advocating how you feel and how you think. So you gonna see his black ass saying that coon ass shit and still say all black people are like this? They will. That's the answer to your question. They will. Yes, they goddamn will. You just a useful ass fucking idiot. I don't know what's wrong with that dude, y'all. I don't know what's wrong with that dude, but it is what it is. Like, I'm just gonna tell you like this, because we about to get the fuck up out of here. But dude, I will say this. If don't nobody else say it to the people of Ghana, I appreciate you for putting that measure up there and getting it voted on and actually getting it passed. I appreciate you. You show who a lot of the wolves of the world are, because they abstained and voted against, but you show who a lot of our allies are too, for the people that actually voted for it. A lot of people that don't got dirty ass hands. But for this nigga right here that's talking that nonsense, bro, you can take that shit. I don't know where you need. Man, look, just find the whitest town in Georgia. Go to Whitesville. I'm trying to tell you, man, go to Whitesville, bro. Go to Whitesville, Georgia, bro, and fucking just go live there, bro. Just like if you got enough money to get there, bro, go over there and live with them folks, and let's see how long your ass stay in that motherfucking town. Cause they named it Whitesville for a reason. Go on over there, bro. Since you feel some type of way, you don't want to be around them immigrants, go move with the white people and see how the white people want you around them. I think he might know the answer, but he want to worry about some motherfucking immigrants. Immigrants ain't did a goddamn thing to you, nigga. Besides jump in line in front of your ass for shit that would help the whole community. But yeah, we can talk about those different things, but like this shit, bro, nah, bro. Nah, I ain't with it. But y'all let me know what y'all with it, man, because I ain't with that bullshit, bro. Like, I do believe we need to change the way we operate in the black community and how we move when it comes to certain situations, especially social situations that pertain to the entire community. We need to get up off that hoe ass shit that we've been on for a long time. You know the shit that our granddaddies and grandmas and mamas and daddies was on, man. All that hoe ass shit. Like, man, we need to really be out here standing on something. But it is a start for the world to recognize what the fuck this was. And it's the greatest evil. It's written down, bro. They already done voted on it. It's the greatest evil in human history. Not the Holocaust, like a lot of people want to sit around here, man. Way more Africans were fucked up and killed during the Atlantic slave trade than any other fucking slavery, any other atrocity in this world. So I ain't trying to hear it. Y'all go talk to your mama about that if y'all got a problem with it. But yeah, either way though, let me know what y'all think down below. Write it in the comment section. Fuck. I ain't got time for that. But make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe, share, turn notifications on, all that in the bag of chips. If y'all have not subscribed to the backup channel, Y'all need to go subscribe to the backup channel. It's JVJ Speaks, man. Type that shit into YouTube. Go subscribe. JVJ Speaks, because you don't never know what the fuck might happen over here. Y'all already know they did some funny shit with the main channel. So help a brother out. Support the channel. Support the content. And your boy gonna get the fuck out of here, man. I'll fuck with y'all on the next one as always, man.